So what's on tap in the markets today?
Well, the dust has settled, so to speak, from the August 12th crop reports, and we'll have some analysis for you. Also ahead in our market segment, there's increasing demand for chicken dark meat. U.S. catfish processing is down from a year ago, and an 8-week losing streak in hogs may be over, but it may not be. Well, we begin with those numbers in the government's first survey-based crop forecast of the year. That was released August 12th, and it was a surprise for the most part, and the new official price outlook for corn, soybeans, and cotton is generally not going the direction farmers had hoped. Futures broker Nolan Cullen of Jackson answered some questions about the August report for our market interview. Nolan, were you surprised at this expected record U.S. corn crop?
Well, I think most participants in the market were looking for some big numbers, but we've been continually surprised in the acres figure. We are seeing record yields, so the answer is the initial reaction was a surprise. We saw the markets come under a good bit of pressure, but by the end of the day had recovered somewhat. Not the classic technical reversal we'd like to think, new lows, sharply higher close, but early in the week here we're getting follow-through that suggests we've possibly seen, at least for the time being, some low in the markets.
All right, and of course a larger crop means predicted expanded U.S. stocks, ending stocks, and world ending stocks. All that is factoring into what this price picture may be.
I think it's probably a classic sell the rumor, buy the news situation. You can also use other cliches, last nail in the coffin, but certainly the supply side of the market has been played out. We are seeing good demand, so in the coming weeks, potentially any kind of weather difficulties, but I think I go so far as to say there's a good opportunity. We've seen the lows in the market for the time being.
All right, shifting to soybeans now. Again, a big crop coming, and what's your comment on that?
Well, certainly, I think the earlier question, there was a surprise. These numbers are way up there, but they've been consistent. Crop ratings continue to support that. So I think we're on what you'd call a contra-trend rally, technical bounce. I would think the upside near term in November soybeans would probably be in the area of 1030.
All right, and final question about the cotton market. Again, what did this report tell us?
Well, it says we've got a plentiful supply of cotton. Cotton may have been ahead of the game. In the previous weeks, we've seen a strong rally, went up to 78 cents, but unfortunately, like most of these markets, when they look like they've found the light at the end of the tunnel, we saw a sharp break in the cotton market. I think I'd go so far as say the lows in the cotton market are in. The demand is good. The bearish events have been China supply, and combination of weather and the fact they extended their selling of reserves is going to keep a lid on the cotton market.
Now time for our trivia quiz on Farm Week, and our question today is about a popular place in many communities this time of year. How much has the number of U.S. farmers markets increased in the last 10 years? Is the answer 75%, 100%, 150%, or 180%? We'll have the answer coming up in a few more minutes. The website meetingplace.com reports that domestic demand for chicken dark meat is increasing. How about that? And this is a good thing, according to the Daily Livestock Report, because it helps offset the collapse in U.S. chicken exports that started last summer over the international concerns about avian influenza. Analysts think the improved interest in chicken dark meat is being driven by its affordability when compared to other proteins. Traders estimate that wholesale leg quarters should be able to average in the low 30-cent range. That is up from the mid-20s registered in 2015. Well, from the chicken house to the pond bank now, where less catfish is being processed in the U.S. This new report you're about to see reflects market in the month of July. U.S. producers received a pond bank price of $1.22 per pound. That's for premium size live fish in July. That is up 9 cents from a year ago last month. Farm sales, meanwhile, totaled close to 24 million pounds round weight. Now that is a drop of over 10% from July 2015. Processor sales were also down in the U.S. last month, dipping close to 2% from 1 year ago. As we record this week, the cattle trade is positioning ahead of the August 19th on-feed report. That is expected to show further expansion in numbers versus a year ago. Meanwhile, on the feeder cattle side of the ledger, analyst Don Roos says he thinks there's some room to move back up.
Well, I think it's like the cash cattle market. I think it has room to move back up. But, you know, if you get the November feeder cattle back up to that 146, 147.50, I think those are more catch-up selling opportunities going into the fall again.
Well, there is some level of confidence the hog market may have what is being termed an intermediate bottom here in the latter half of August. Analyst Ted Seifert has been looking at this. He says Chinese demand for American pork has been soft, and that's one reason the hog trade has been in the doldrums for weeks and weeks.
We've been hoping or really planning on exports to get strong, especially from Southeast Asia, China in particular, and that's just really never shown up. So a lot of these bullish speculative bets that had been made in hogs based on the idea that we were going to see this big influx of Chinese exports, that never happened, and that had to come out. Now, you think that we could be getting close to that, and you do wonder. Chinese made some cancellations. This is a game that they like to play before they make some bigger purchases.
Well, no game playing here. It's time to wrap things up in the markets, but not before we give you that trivia answer. And the correct choice this week is D. U.S. farmers markets have experienced 180% growth since 2006.